The eyes of a man who's looked through many, many lenses over the years, legendary film director John Woo. Hello, sir.
Hello, hi.
When I say you've looked in through many, many lenses, you have made a huge number of films. Have you actually lost count, or do you actually keep a tally on how many you've made?
I'm afraid I've lost count. Yeah, I think I've made over 35 movies, yeah.
So it goes back to about, what, it was 1973 or so, the first films that you made?
Yeah, 1973, yeah.
Along the way, of course, you've made some of the most well-known and most loved action films in the genre, and taught a great many other film directors the ways of making action films. Have there been any moments along the way, though, where you've learnt something that has been particularly important to you and your style?
Well, actually, I just feel like I'm just making a musical. I love musical. I got so much influence from the musical. When I'm choreography the action sequence, I just feel like I'm making a dancing scenes. I love dancing. I used to be a pretty good dancer when I was young.
I'm sure you still are, John. Let's talk about this your latest film, which is called Red Cliff, and you've spent a long time in Hollywood making American films, and some of your films, Mission Impossible 2, Hard Boiled, Face Off, extremely well known. But for this film, going back to China where you were born, what was the experience like for you?
It's great. I've got great support from the government, and I feel free to do whatever I want. And they love movies. They also want to do a good business. And you know what? Everything was so simple. I just walk into the studio. I just talk to them. I want to make a movie called Red Cliff. And they just, okay, let's do it. I said, just unlike.
Really, was that easy?
Yeah, it's very easy. I mean, in America, everything seems to be a little more complicated. And a little too political. You have to listen to so many people, so many meetings. So I just feel like. Sometimes it's hard to make a decision. Anyway, but in China, it is we have a great history, great cultures, and also we have so many stories need to tell. So, for example, to make a movie like Red Cliff, it was one of my dreams.
It's something that you've been working on for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've been dreaming to make this movie for over 20 years. Even though it's based on a historical fact, but still it had a lot of excitement.
Excitement's an understatement. It's set in the 2nd century, and I really would have lost count of the numbers of people actually on screen within about the first 3 minutes. It literally has a cast of thousands and thousands, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do you actually wrangle that number of people? Is it a difficult thing?
No, not at all. Because we have support by the army. We had over 1,000 soldiers on the set. They're helping me to doing all kind of action, marching, fighting. They're very brave and work very hard.
Was it kind of like a dream come true for you?
Yeah. So and we also. Had a great technician from the United States for helping us to do all the CG work to make the scene look bigger.
Can I just ask you, this is a kind of ridiculous question, but what is the art to a good action scene? Because you've made many hundreds over the years.
Well, of course, the action got to be look beautiful, and then also had some kind of emotion, and or even have some message in it that will make the actions more meaningful. For the beauty of action, I get the idea from the musical, So every movement, every fighting, look pretty much like a dancing. And the other thing is all about the rhythm. The rhythm, just like the music, So
do you have the rhythm in your head before you start shooting?
Yeah, I start with the music, and I usually listen to the music. Sometimes I'm listening to rock and roll music.
Like what? What are you listening to?
Well, sometimes rap music, and but usually the rock music in the 60s and the 70s.
Well, like Rolling Stones and things like that?
Yeah, Rolling Stone, Elvis, Presley, and Beatles.
So do you actually listen to it while you're shooting?
Yes. You know, I try to get the rhythm and the beat. You know, so because you know, I usually I go through the whole scene first. If I feel good about it, and then I think my actor also will feel comfortable about it. For it.
One thing I did want to ask you about Red Cliff is obviously a very Chinese story, and it's historical in China, set in the 2nd century. It involves two great tacticians coming together in war, but. I know recently there's been some misjudgment about Chinese culture with overseas companies coming in and trying to represent what they think the Chinese audience will want. And there's been a bit of a lost in translation kind of scenarios. How difficult was it for you to make sure that you got it right so that I take Chinese audiences would feel like it was genuine?
Well, I think for the Chinese audience, they were so familiar with the Kung Fu movies. You know, I think the Kung Fu is only a part of our culture. You know, there always something else. Like Red Cliff, the theme, the whole theme was about courage, love, and friendship. You know, since we have a great culture, there's also a lot of other beautiful things. You know. Do
you have a total tally of the body count in Red Cliff?
No, it's countless. I think I have made the longest battle scene in film history. For the final battle scenes, about 45 minutes long. It was long. It's a huge, and I must say it also had the very best, visual effects.
Director John Woo, it's been great chatting to us here at Triple J. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Robbie, Murray and the Doctor on Triple J.
Thank you.